Water is essential to every form of life. It is our most important resource. It's something we all take for granted. We think of it as pure and natural. But just how safe is our water? Fertilizers and pesticides soak into the soil, contaminating the groundwater. Heavy metals, chemicals, and toxic waste are dumped directly into the water basins. Chlorine, used to treat much of this country's drinking water, is now considered a health risk. Asbestos, a cancer-causing substance, has been discovered in some water supplies. All or some of these pollutants may be found in the water you drink, threatening your health and the health of your family. Our government recognized the severity of the pollution problem. The U.S. Congress passed the Clean Water Act in the attempt to ensure the safety of drinking water for all Americans. But despite these measures, the reality today is quite different. This coming year, North American industry will dump approximately 250 million tons of toxic waste into the environment. That's nearly 1 ton for every man, woman, and child. There are over 80,000 dump sites for toxic materials in the United States, plus unknown tens of thousands of illegal dump sites. And if that's not bad enough, it's been estimated that over 90% of those sites directly threaten the surrounding drinking water supply. Additional dangers are posed by pesticides and chemicals that seep down into the soil, into wells and groundwater, into rivers and lakes, and possibly into the very water you drink. These chemicals include substances like vinyl chloride, benzene, PCP, TCE, asbestos, some of the most deadly substances known to man. Chemicals proven to cause birth defects, nerve disease, brain damage, and cancer. For years, it was thought the soil would naturally filter out these toxins. But health officials have since found that this is not true. Where will it end? The sad fact is the problem is growing worse every day, and there is no end in sight. The most frightening fact is that many of us aren't aware of the dangers. We don't realize we might be drinking contaminated water, since many of these pollutants are colorless, odorless, tasteless, and go undetected. How good is the quality of your drinking water? Municipalities do their best to remove as many chemicals and toxins as they can. But the public cannot expect the government to provide truly pure drinking water. There just isn't enough money to do the job. In 1904, municipalities began adding chlorine to drinking water to eliminate waterborne diseases. Today, most municipalities continue to use chlorine. And more recently, chlorine combined with ammonia. The leaching of lead and asbestos from aging water pipes, which have been in place for decades in some U.S. cities, is becoming more and more common as these pipes deteriorate. Ironically, the very pipes that bring water into your home could potentially pose a dangerous threat to your health. The facts are alarming. Government officials are doing their best, but the reality is that less than 0.5% of this water is used for human consumption. The rest is used for things like watering lawns, washing clothes, and flushing toilets. There simply isn't enough money to provide pure drinking water that is completely free of contaminants. So what is the solution? What can you do to protect yourself and your family? Since 1970, the MultiPure company has been devoted to solving this critical problem. Years of extensive research and development have resulted in the creation of the MultiPure drinking water system. Designed to install in minutes, It ensures clear, clean, wholesome, better quality drinking water instantly. As much as you want, when you want, for just pennies a day. At the heart of this advanced system is a solid activated carbon block. Solid carbon is recognized as the most effective filtering material available. It's MultiPure's innovative, balanced engineered design that forces the water through its billions of cleansing micropores, which make this system so effective. Some people have bought home water purifying systems, but unknowingly turned to inexpensive granular carbon filters. With these, the water flows around the carbon instead of passing through it, so no real filtering occurs. Many people have turned to bottled water. In fact, 70% of the bottled water sold in the U.S. is actually reprocessed tap water. The EPA did a study of bottled water a few years back and found numerous brands of bottled water to be contaminated with animal waste and intestinal bacteria. Bottles and the machines used to store household water need constant care and cleaning. Otherwise, they can become breeding grounds for a host of harmful germs and bacteria. And bottled water is an expensive alternative as well as being impractical. By comparison, MultiPure water is more convenient, less expensive, and there's always an unlimited supply of pure, fresh, wholesome, better quality drinking water. Unlike some companies that just claim their product works, MultiPure has test results to back it up. These independent laboratory tests have proven that MultiPure's activated solid carbon filter, with its balanced engineered design system, outperforms other filters in its ability to remove organic contaminants. With a MultiPure system in your home, you can rest assured that you're getting better quality drinking water. MultiPure ensures your satisfaction with a 30-day money-back guarantee. MultiPure is proud to be a leader in the effort to provide clear, clean, delicious, better quality drinking water to people all around the world.
Here at MultiPure Corporation, we are very, very proud of our products. MultiPure has been in the drinking water business since 1970, and since water is our only business, we have devoted all of our time and effort to manufacturing a quality product to provide a quality drinking water for our customers. The public is now aware of the potential health and even life-threatening contaminants that exist in many water supplies throughout this country. This public knowledge has created a concern for better health with better water, and this concern has in turn created an explosion in the introduction of a wide variety of water filters. However, there are many products that do very little except mislead the buying public into believing that they have a product that protects them. When you consider the fact that many of these products make similar claims of performance, but they have prices ranging from the price of a haircut to the price of an automobile, it can become difficult to make a decision. Here at MultiPure, we feel sure that once you see what these products really do and don't do, you will understand why we and our customers are very proud of the MultiPure drinking water system. Let's start by looking at a glass of tap water. Now, let's look at a glass of the same tap water after it has been filtered through the MultiPure drinking water system. Even with a side-by-side comparison, it is not easy to see a difference. Now take a look at the same water, but in tanks that are 6 feet long. Is there a noticeable difference? No question about it. Clean or clear can be relative terms. How clean does water have to be considered truly clean, and how clear is crystal clear? If you were standing 30 feet from someone and you could barely see them because of the smoke, dust, or haze, I'm sure you'd be very concerned about breathing that air. However, if you could see through 30 feet of water, it would be considered, relatively speaking, clear water. If the water was truly clean, you would be able to see through several hundred feet. For the purpose of these performance comparisons, on this video, we're going to be showing you things that you can see. The tank on the left is tap water that has the maximum amount of turbidity allowed and still meets the federal safe drinking water standards. And the tank on the right is that same tap water filtered through the MultiPure drinking water system. To further illustrate the difference between the two, we will turn off the light and shine a focused flashlight beam through the water. What this does is to help you see what crystal clear water really should look like. You will notice that the beam of light is visible in the tap water because the light beam is reflecting off of the almost invisible particles that are in the water. These particles are what makes the tap water murky. By shining the same light beam through the MultiPure water, it cannot be seen because all of the particles in the water have been removed. MultiPure water is truly crystal clear. Now we are filtering the same tap water through a loose, granular, activated carbon filter. By comparing the filtered water with the MultiPure and the tap water which has been refilled, you will see that there is only a slight difference between the tap and the filtered water, but a substantial difference when compared to the MultiPure water. By shining the focused light beam, you can see the beam in the tap water and the filtered water, but not in the MultiPure. Before we continue with these comparisons, I'd like to explain why the tap water is sometimes cloudy or murky. Even if your tap water meets the government's acceptable standards, as outlined in the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act, it can contain a certain amount of many contaminants, including things like rust, dirt, algae, some microorganisms, and trace amounts of many different chemicals. As an example, the Federal Clean Water Standards allows up to 7 million asbestos fibers per liter of water. That is over 1.5 million fibers in a single 8-ounce glass of water. And asbestos in drinking water is considered by many experts as a possible cause of cancer, just as it is in the air that we breathe. Even though you cannot see these individual particles, I'm sure you can understand that almost 200,000 fibers in 1 ounce of water could affect the clarity of your water, especially when you shine a light through the water. This next test is a test that MultiPure performs on a sample MultiPure cartridge from each production run. This is just one of the many tests that we do to assure that all of the raw materials meet our rigid requirements and specifications. Also, this test verifies the structural integrity of the carbon block. To perform this test, we add a chemical known as methylene blue to a quantity of water and pump it through the filter. This chemical is very visible, and there will be no visible traces in the filtered water if, in fact, the filter is functioning properly. This test is a very good indication of a filter's ability to remove chemicals from the water. As you can see again, the MultiPure has outperformed all others in its ability to remove the methylene blue from the filtered water. We are now filling a clear glass container with tap water, and another is being filled with water from a MultiPure. Side-by-side comparisons show very little difference between the two. By turning off the lights and shining a focused flashlight beam through each, you will see the light reflecting from the small particles in the tap water, and you will notice an absence of the light beam in the MultiPure. Now we will fill a beaker with water from each filter, and as each one is placed on the right, we will shine a light to show the comparison between the filtered water and the tap water in the center and the MultiPure water on the left. Most of the contaminants that you should be concerned about, which may or may not be in your water, can't be seen and have no noticeable smell or taste, even if there were 100 times the hazardous level in your water. There are a lot of different products available, and many people have purchased one model after having seen tests from an entirely different product. Printed on this box are features stating lead, copper, mercury, chromium, and radium. However, if you read it carefully, you will discover that this product packaged in this box is not the product claiming to remove these contaminants. This product is sold in retail stores, and even the clerk selling it to you probably doesn't know what the filter is actually capable of doing. Also, you will notice the water quality seal on this box. Many people would take that as an assurance that it is a quality product. In fact, the seal simply means that the manufacturer or the company packaging the product is a member of the Water Quality Association, and the seal on the box is totally meaningless as far as the actual performance capabilities of the product. Many of these companies are just now entering the water filtering business. Their performance claims can be very confusing. An example is that a product being sold by one company may claim that their product is a taste and odor filter, and another company may claim that the same product will effectively remove almost anything and everything imaginable. Before you purchase a drinking water treatment device, you should confirm the performance claims made by the manufacturer or sales representative. Do this by asking whether the unit has been tested and listed by NSF International, and insist upon seeing a copy of the listing. Be sure to look for the NSF listing mark for the specific product that you're considering. Also ask if the unit is listed under Standard 42, which includes those filters which remove chlorine and improve taste and odor. Also ask if the filter that you're considering is listed under Standard 53. This listing includes those units that can reduce contaminants of health concern. Be sure to verify the range of contaminants of health concern that the unit can effectively reduce. The number of drinking water filters that are effective in reducing lead, asbestos, trihalomethanes, cyst, turbidity, pesticides, and certain volatile organic chemicals are very few indeed. Also, if you live in the state of California, be sure to obtain a copy of the water treatment certificate issued by the California Department of Health Services. Compare the ease and use of the service requirements for the device that you're considering. Find out how often you need to change the filter and what will the replacement filter cost. Also, ask if the manufacturer and the distributor provide a customer satisfaction guarantee and product warranty. In the last several years, the superior performance of the MultiPure has become obvious within the drinking water filter industry. This recognition has created an attempt by others to enter the marketplace with solid carbon block filters without the technical knowledge nor the willingness to properly design this type of system. The MultiPure drinking water system is a balanced designed, engineered, and formulated solid carbon block filter cartridge that is a combination of the proper materials, size, and density. Another example of a solid carbon block filter is this very small faucet-mounted filter that is simply too small and poorly designed to be effective. Also, what may appear to be an inexpensive filter, in reality is much more costly than the MultiPure. There are many different types of carbon and filtering materials available, and they each have different capabilities in their effectiveness to remove different contaminants. MultiPure uses a combination of raw materials to provide the proper balance of performance that gives you and your family the ultimate protection. When you purchase a MultiPure, you are buying from MultiPure, and your total satisfaction is guaranteed by MultiPure. You can call MultiPure direct with any questions that you may have. You order your replacement cartridges from MultiPure, and as the years go by, your new cartridges will always be manufactured using the latest and the best technology available at that time. So now that you've seen these comparisons, I'm sure that you can understand why we are very proud of our products. We know that if a product is not capable of removing the particles from the water that you can see, it certainly is not going to be effective in removing things from the water that you cannot see. When you're ready to provide yourself and your family with a better quality water, remember that the MultiPure product is a quality engineered product designed to provide you with truly spring fresh, crystal clear, delicious drinking water. Good health begins with good water. That's why MultiPure.